Attractive, mysterious, intoxicating. Today we're talking about the absolute best, one of my favorite top notes slash accords in the world of perfumery. Of course, we're talking about Boozy scents. Stick around, the top 15 best Boozy fragrances money can buy are up right now. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gents. If you do love to make a great and lasting impression, you came to the right place. Smelling good is a great way to start. Today we're going to continue the series. This is episode 3. I've done tobacco, I've done vetiver for you. If you guys missed those videos, of course, I'm going to have it linked below so you guys can check them out. This is episode 3. Of course, we're going to tackle the Boozy notes. Subsequent to this video, we have episode 4, which is going to cover leathers. And then I'm going to have some voting for you guys to pick on the next, upcoming episodes. We're going to kick off the list here with one that is very playful. This is, of course, from the house of Paco Rabanne. This is Pure Excess. Now, Pure Excess is going to be like a vanilla Coke type of a situation. It's more of a playful, youthful scent. And the first 4 fragrances I'm about to share with you are going to be the entry level. Then we're going to go into high end, then we're going to go into hidden gems, and of course, the Holy Grail. You're going to get a 15 fragrance countdown. Not really a countdown, but 15 fragrances, all incredibly boozy in their own way. This one here, of course, Pure Excess, is going to be vanilla Coke. It has some spices here, cinnamon, of course. But the main notes here, I would say, is that vanilla Coke, sparkly up top with the woody and boozy fast that it has throughout the life of this fragrance. The booziness hit that we get here is going to be from rum. This is an absolutely intoxicating, playful, amazing, youthful scent. Compliment monster, guys. Pure Excess from Paco Rabanne, one that doesn't really get much talks, but it's definitely a hidden gem that I highly suggest you guys, if you get into boozy notes, definitely check this one out. You're gonna love it, especially if you have a sweet tooth. This leans more on the sweet side of things. Next up, one of my all-time favorites from the house of Burberry. This is Burberry London. Amazing stuff. You're gonna have a pine cone vibe here, some cinnamon, which is absolutely gorgeous. This to me is like holiday season in a bottle. Since the inception in 2006, I've been wearing this in my collection here and there. Not as much nowadays, but I'm glad to revisit this and talk to you guys about this one because it features the note of port wine, which is a boozy note that you don't really hear much about. The port wine here is amazing. This is gonna be spicy, this is gonna be woody, there's sandalwood in the base, it's also very creamy with a pine cone, coniferous green kind of an undertone, but the port wine is absolutely gorgeous here. It's a little bit, if you know wine, it has a very woody, oaky kind of a vibe and has some sweetness to it. Absolutely intoxicating, mesmerizing, amazing here. The second for the entry level stuff here. And again, the entry level is gonna be all below $90, at least less than $100 for sure. You can find this at any discounter out there for a great price. It's not gonna break the bank and it smells absolutely fabulous. The next choice here is going to be a whiskey, woody, iris, slightly smoky kind of a fragrance. To me, nowadays, it's given Dior a run for its money when you're talking about Dior Homme collection, which nowadays has been heavily reformulated, not as good as it used to be. So if I want that kind of effect, I go for this one. Gentlemen, this is going to be Gentleman by Givenchy, the Reserve Privé from a couple years ago. Amazing stuff, compliment monster, slightly smoky, woody, vetiver in the base. The whiskey note here is incredible. This is boozy from beginning to end, and it's also very compelling, very attractive, very dressier kind of situation, evening scenarios. This is an absolute beast of a fragrance, guys. Don't snooze on this one. If you haven't tried this one, if you haven't heard about this one, you're missing out, which I'm sure you have. This makes a lot of lists out there for a reason. One of the best boozy designer fragrances money can buy today. And you can find this again at discounters for a good price. Everything will be listed below, as always, to make your life easier. If I can find the best possible price, I'm gonna link it below. If there's codes, discounts for you guys, of course, it'll also be listed below. Last but not least, in the entry level here, to me, this is a criminally underrated fragrance from the house of Lalique, which Lalique produces incredible quality for great pricing, just like Issey Miyake, just like Cartier. And again, Cartier could have been featured here with Pasha, but I went with this one. This is Ombre Noir Lalique. Absolutely incredible stuff here. You have a minty note up top. The whiskey cognac vibe here is absolutely amazing. It's very boozy, but this is not going to be a very powerful fragrance. Not as powerful as Givenchy Reserve Privé that I talked about, which is probably the most powerful here on this entry level. And then second would be the Pure Excess, but again leans more on the playful side. The Gentleman, you could actually dress it up and be a little bit more mature. This one, the most mature on the entry level, because it's going to have some notes here that are going to be a little bit old school, slightly leathery, definitely slightly smoky, but the cognac slash whiskey note here are absolutely done to perfection. I love the minty opening here. It smells like a beautiful whiskey cognac made, drink. Very nice, very intriguing. There's a patchouli in the base here, lots of spices, amazing. the more mature here in the entry level, but it's gonna make you smell amazing. This one smells like old money, class, sophistication. You put this on, you walk into a place, a restaurant, or you go into a meeting, a late meeting, you dressed up for a wedding, a black tie event, you're gonna definitely turn heads, guys. Amazing stuff here. Ombre Lalique, Ombre Noir from Lalique. Lalique always produces quality, guys, for great price. Don't play retail for this. You're gonna have this listed below. An absolute beast of a fragrance. If you love boozy and spicy and woody fragrances, this is absolutely amazing stuff. For the high-end creme de la creme, I'm gonna go a little bit more toward the season we have right now, spring and going into summer. So I'm gonna give you two options back to back that are gonna be more of the clear kind of a, booze spirit. Of course, this is going to be a perfect gin and tonic, and we're talking about Mise en Sur Blue Gin. I talked to you guys about many years about this one since the original inception, I believe in 2021. This is an amazing fragrance, guys. If you love gin, as the name would imply, blue gin, it's like a blue sapphire, a Bombay sapphire kind of a gin with, of course, juniper berries. It's slightly coniferous, slightly fruity as well, but the gin here is done to perfection. It's gonna be boozy. It's gonna be very playful as well, but yet playful, attractive, elegant, and sophisticated at the same time. The booziness here is done to perfection. If you do enjoy a playful but also well put together kind of a scent, Blue Gin is definitely the one for you. Amazing for spring and summer dresser situations. You can dress this down. This can be worn casually, but I love this for dresser situations during the warm seasons of the year. One that I would probably wear for the one coming up next, for more playful, if you're going on a yacht, if you're going on a boat, if you're going on a barbecue, if you're going to hang out with the friends, more casual, white t-shirt, polo, I would go with this one here. This is Virgin Island Water from the House of Creed. Of course, it's an older 4-ounce bottle, 120 ml, but this is an incredible, almost has like a pina colada kind of a vibe. I know pineapple's not listed as a note. Predominantly, it has the citrus notes. It has the tequila, rum, white rum kind of accord. So to me, it smells like a pina colada. That's how I would describe this. This is very tropical. The name is very fitting. Virgin Island Water, amazing for casual wear, hanging out with friends, having time, dates, having a great time with friends, going out on a date during the summer times, late spring. This is gonna be a great one. I wore a lot of this fragrance. This is actually my third bottle. I think this was originally released in 2008. And since then I've had about 3 or so bottles of this fragrance. Love the stuff. This is a go-to for me for playful situations that are a little bit more casual, a little bit dressed down, but you also wanna feel great and evoke a very well taste and very good vibe about yourself. Virgin Island Water is one that I would highly recommend. Right now, as of late, not many people talk about this, but go back a few years, this was definitely a go-to for a lot of people out there. Now we're gonna go back into the dark stuff. The next one we're gonna talk about here is gonna be from the House of Penhaligon's, and again, this is the high-end stuff. All these fragrances here will set you back a little bit, a couple $100 or more, but they're gonna be the creme de la creme, high-end, really amazing stuff from this point forward. Not entry-level anymore. And of course, the next one is going to be from Penhaligon's. This is Helvetii Cedar. Love this stuff. The cedar wood here is absolutely incredible, very woodsy, very dark, a little bit smoky as well. This is spiced rum and dried fruits with a woody base. Absolutely phenomenal. My favorite from the Helvetii Leather is my second. The original Helvetii is amazing, but this one here, because of the booziness with the dried fruit combination and the gorgeous cedar wood in the base, this is a head-turning fragrance, guys. Don't kid yourselves. If you haven't tried this one, you're definitely missing out. One of the best Penhaligon fragrances in the market today. Speaking of one of the best boozy fragrances in the world, this is definitely one that if you do enjoy boozy fragrances, this is a must-have. Forget about must-try. If you do love boozy, this is a must-have. From the House of Nasomatto, this is Barra Onda. Small bottle packs up a punch, guys. 30 ml, 1 ounce, Straight de Parfum. This is as powerful as they get, guys. This is whiskey, umbrette seeds, musk mallow. The musk here with the whiskey up top and the woods, it's absolutely intoxicating aroma. This stuff will definitely take over a room. If you spray your clothes, you're gonna be nuclear and projecting for days, guys. If you love whiskey and you want a powerful whiskey and woody base scent, guys, Barra Onda will be your fix. One of the best high-end whiskey-based fragrances in the world for a long time since it was released. I believe I want to say 2015, but I'll look it up real quickly here. It was originally released in 2016, so I was wrong by a year. So since the inception of that fragrance, and there's of course one that I'll be talking about in the Holy Grail section at the end of the video, they're on my favorite boozy fragrances of all time, hence the fact they started this whole boozy genre kind of a thing and fever of boozy fragrances that we have here in the fragrance community, as it were. Next up, we have 4 fragrances that I like to highlight right now, share with you. They're going to be the hidden gems must try. I talked about some of the high ends, must have, now must try. If you guys getting into boozy fragrances, you know you love the boozy genre, the Accord, and these are ones that you definitely want to try, and you're going to find out why right now. The first one we're going to talk about is going to be from the house of Lorenzo Pazzaia, Italian brand making tremendous strides in the world of perfume, niche perfumery out there. This is Vampirum, and Vampirum is a play on words. Vampire rum, of course, it's going to be a rum-based scent, spicy rum, amazing stuff, woody base, patchouli, vetiver, slightly caramel here to make things interesting. What this reminds me of, guys, is if you are in this community for any length of time, I'm sure you've heard about the great Amen collection from Mugler, Pure Malt, Pure Creation. This is about Pure Malt meets a gourmand caramel rum kind of a facet. If you do love Pure Malt, if you knew that fragrance, it's discontinued, one of the most sought after, Amen fragrances ever made. This one here is very similar to that fragrance, adding the caramel, slightly rum caramel combination here, which adds this really nice boozy kind of a facet to Pure Malt. So if you do love Pure Malt, you're gonna love this. If you have a sweet tooth, you're gonna love it even more. This is going to be the most sweet gourmandy facet of boozy fragrance in this set of collection here. But I wanted to give you something here that I really think, if you have a sweet tooth, if you do love gourmands and you do love boozy fragrances, this would be a great one to check out. Next one here is one that it's an up and coming brand. This brand here is going to be one that still kind of under the radar. It's one of those rising star brands that I like to call, and this is from the House of Elysian, and this is Gentleman's Club. Now, Gentleman's Club is going to have chocolate, cocoa, it's going to have cognac, it's going to have all the elements of a gorgeous Gentleman Club. Slightly tobacco, but not much. The boozy note here is going to be your star player. That cognac is up front and center. The cocoa, the cacao adds sweetness to it, a little powdery sweetness. Think about this dustling of cocoa with slightly leathery and also a little bit hints of sweet tobacco. Amazing stuff. Smells amazing. Took over the whole room right now. Very powerful stuff. If you do like the elements of a gentleman's lounge, a gentleman's club, talking about all those elements, boozy elements, tobacco, leathers, this one here encompasses all of that and then some. Amazing stuff. This is a hidden gem, guys, I'm sharing with you today. Definitely consider this one. If you have a taste similar to mine, you're going to love this. This is as boozy as they come. And I'm telling you, the cognac here is up front and center. It's going to surround the whole composition from beginning to end. It's a star player of this great creation here from the House of Elysian. Speaking of great creations, of course, there's a brand here that I said to you guys from the beginning, I'm going to say 7-8 years ago, and I really dove into this brand. I said, guys, this is a brand you want to discover. This is from the US, amazing niche brand, of course, the House of Amor Oud. You guys heard me talk about Whetstone time and time again. But this one here was my first love from this brand. This is going to be Santal de Indes, which is going to be a sandalwood-based fragrance, but it's got spices and, of course, a gorgeous note of absinthe. Now, absinthe has almost like an anisette, sambuca kind of a smell, slightly anise, slightly licorice, but not quite licorice, but it has a little bit of the spiciness that you get with licorice without being too dark. And you have a gorgeous sandalwood here that's creamy, it's alluring, intricate, intriguing, mysterious. I love this stuff. In fact, I might even spray this on today. Speaking of hidden gems, guys, this is one that I probably spoke to you guys about a few times over the last 7-8 years. But over the last few years, I haven't really talked about, and I was compiling this list together, and I wanted to feature something with absinthe, and there's no other fragrance that captures the note of absinthe and sandalwood as good as this fragrance, guys. This is a masterpiece. I'm telling you, this was my gateway, the way I fell in love with Amor Oud, and I said, how come no one's talking about this brand? Is this one right here, guys. Check this out, come back here and thank me later. And the great thing about this one, unisex, gender-free, shared, anybody can rock this. Amazing stuff. Don't snooze on this one, come back here and thank me later. You wear this, people are gonna wanna eat you up. Trust me, like I said, I might even rock this today. Speaking of masterpieces and great fragrances that you must try, we're gonna talk about a brand here that over the last couple of years just blew my top. Of course, the brand is Q Lifestyle, Q New York. This is Ode de New York. This is a poem. This is a music, a song to the city of New York, guys. Incredible presentation, beautiful fragrance, guys. This is going to be red apple. This is going to be whiskey, papyrus, slightly leathery, absolutely gorgeous, powerful juice right here, guys. If you love whiskey, The aged whiskey that's comprised in here is absolutely phenomenal. It'll take over a room. If you spray your clothes, it'll be there probably forever. You know, if you don't take it to the dry cleaners, it's probably gonna be there forever. So be cautious, you've been warned. This is a powerful, powerful juice that captures the essence of New York to the T, guys. Must try. If you love whiskey, guys, don't snooze on this house. They have some incredible fragrances to offer. One of the most powerful brands out there. If you want quality and long-lasting natural ingredients combined with good synthetics, guys, check this brand. They're absolutely insane, under the radar, incredible brand. I put my stamp of quality in this brand. I talked to you guys about many times. Eau de New York, my current favorite. Introvert, it's another one that I love. It's a vetiver-based one, very smoky. But if you do love whiskey, guys, this is definitely this one in Provenance to try. But this is my current favorite for this list. I think it's a must-try because I think this one here from the whole, you know, collection, if you love whiskey, this is the one that you should definitely consider trying. Now we're going to talk about the Holy Grails as we do with this list. Every end of the list, I give you guys 3 Holy Grail fragrances, whether it be discontinued, hard to find. I think these encapsulate the note, the boozy note that they're trying to portray to perfection. And of course, I couldn't do this list without talking about this Holy Grail back in 2009, Pure Malt from Mugler that I talked about before. In 2013, this is Pure Creation. This is going to have a sweeter undertake because it adds more dried fruits to it, but both fragrances have an incredible whiskey, pure malt, as the name would imply, kind of a profile, guys. One of the best whiskey fragrances ever created. Of course, it takes the DNA of the Mugler, Thierry Mugler's Amen, and they age these in whiskey caskets or barrels, giving this beautiful whiskey scent profile that we come to love over the years. Sadly, both discontinued, very hard to find. They both fetch a pretty penny out there. There are alternatives. There are alternatives to these fragrances, of course, things that are similar to them, but not quite as good, guys. So if you can, get yourself about, if you do love the note of whiskey, we're talking about Holy Grails here, and money is not an issue. You can buy, you're not, you know, afraid to splurge, then either one of these fragrances, guys, will definitely do the job. Whether you go with Pure Malt or Pure Creation, one of the best creations when it comes to the whiskey scent profile. Now, if you want to go cognac, Coca-Cola, spices, there's no other than this particular fragrance, which the first time I smelled this, it just blew my mind. I was like, wow, I need to have this. And I've gone through a couple bottles of this fragrance since it was originally released. And of course, this is from Parfums. This is Enigma or Creation, you guys. I love the stuff. This one is signed by Roja himself. I got it at an event. And guys, let me tell you, if you love cognac, this has a smell to it. It's very regal. It smells like royalty. It's absolutely amazing. The cognac here is incredible. It's room filling with the spices. It opens up like a fizzy Coca-Cola, and then it dries down to the whiskey booziness, the woods, the spices, the leathery undertones. There's a slight tobacco note here as well. An absolute masterpiece. This is a masterpiece, guys. In fact, all the ones here in this Holy Grail list are masterpieces, and this one here, no different. And last but not least, guys, this one here I talked to you guys about many years as one of my favorite Holy Grail boozy fragrances of all time. It actually checks different boxes because it has a leathery kind of undertone, has a little bit of a tobacco vibe, but the whiskey note here is absolutely heart-stopping, guys. I'm telling you, this is Kutai from Uniki Luxury, one of my favorite boozy fragrances of all time, because this one here has a vibe if you would combine 2 incredible fragrances on their own. If you took Barra Onda, the whiskey that you get here, all the vibes that I talked about when I talked about this fragrance in this video, but then you add the whiskey and tobacco and oud slightly touches that you get with tobacco oud from Tom Ford Private Blend. Add those 2 together, guys, you get Kutai. An absolute beast of a fragrance, guys. Again, if you haven't tried this one, you're missing out. If you love boozy and you love everything I talked about here, this one here is one of the best Holy Grail fragrances money can buy still today. Because this one here, of course, the paper label, the old school Enigma is no longer available, so it fetches a pretty penny out there. And of course, Pure Creation and Pure Malt from Mugler discontinued also fetch a pretty penny. If you're a collector out there and you know it, you know that you can find them in the groups, just like the Emporium of Scents Facebook group. You're gonna be able to find these fragrances, but still fetching a pretty penny. If you go to eBay, forget about it, people are gonna eye gouge. So I'm telling you, if you want a great boozy fragrance today, Kutai or any of the other ones I talked about outside of the Holy Grail section would do you absolutely phenomenal. So let me know in the comments, What did I miss? Is there any other boozy fragrances and facets that I missed here today that I should have talked about? I'd love to read your comments and find out maybe and discover some other boozy fragrances that I haven't yet. So please share your thoughts below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for your support. Know that you can try all the fragrances in this video at perfume.com. Use my code, all details below. Try before you buy. It's always a great way to experience the fragrances before coughing up the dough. You don't want to blind buy like I do because it's a costly hobby and I want to make sure you guys understand that I have your best interest. So check out details below, try before you buy it. That way, if you do love the fragrance, then you also have them listed below and you can find them at best possible prices. Guys, thank you so much for your support. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and of course, hit the bell so you get these videos straight into your feed. I will go with Central de Indes, which I think is an absolute beast fragrance. Very, very underrated, guys. Check this fragrance out. Like I said, any of these really, come back here and thank me later. See you in the next one. Cheers.